How come an 80-year-old tank is still in service today? No tank in history has been produced in such staggering numbers. This is the T-55. With some sources claiming as many as 100,000 units built since 1946.
A tank tested across the globe, boasting a 100mm main gun, 200mm of frontal armor, and a V12 diesel engine. Yet by modern standards, the T-55 leaves much to be desired. So why is it still here?
To understand the T-55, we must look back at its ancestor, the T-34-85. At first glance, moving from the T-34 to the T-55 looks like a giant leap, but in reality, it was an evolutionary process. The missing link? The T-44.
But the vehicle that emerged was not yet the T-55. It was still officially the T-54. By the late 1970s, the T-55 faced modern NATO armor like the British Chieftain, and its age showed. Its 100mm gun had an effective range of just 1.5 kilometers, while NATO tanks engaged from double that distance. To keep it relevant, the Soviets launched massive upgrade programs. New fire control systems, laser rangefinders, anti-tank guided missiles, spaced and reactive armor, and engine upgrades pushed its performance further. Despite its cramped interior, the T-55 remained relatively easy to train crews on, another reason it lingered in service for decades.
Why is the T-55 still around when its contemporaries, like the Centurion, have long disappeared? The answer lies in Soviet stockpiling. Unlike NATO nations, the USSR stored vast numbers of vehicles, often in the dry, Siberian tundra where conditions preserved them. By 1989, tens of thousands of T-55s remained in various states of readiness. Moreover, the tank was widely exported. From Warsaw Pact allies to nations across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, the T-55 became a global icon of Soviet military influence.
On the battlefield, the T-55's record is mixed. In the 1973 Yom Kippur War, it fared poorly against Israeli Centurions. Yet in conflicts like the Iran-Iraq War, it proved effective against older vehicles and in supporting roles. Iraq even developed the T-55 Enigma, with improvised composite armor capable of stopping most NATO anti-tank weapons. But the Gulf War in 1991 was a harsh reality check. Outranged and outclassed, T-55s were destroyed en masse by modern Western tanks, including one engagement where British Challenger 1 scored the longest recorded tank-on-tank kill.
And yet, the T-55 lives on. In Ukraine, Slovenia supplied upgraded versions equipped with 105mm guns, reactive armor, and modern engines. Meanwhile, Russia, facing heavy battlefield losses, has pulled base-model T-55s out of storage, repurposing them as mobile artillery platforms rather than main battle tanks. While no match for modern Leopards, Challengers, or Abrams, these aged machines still deliver value as mobile, armored fire support. Cheap, available, and surprisingly adaptable, the T-55 remains relevant, even 80 years after its birth.
The T-55 has endured because of numbers, adaptability, and the willingness of nations to keep breathing life into an old design. From the Cold War to today's wars, it is proven that even outdated machines can find new purpose. Isn't it remarkable that a vehicle conceived at the end of World War II is still a battlefield presence 8 decades later? Why is the T-55 still around when its contemporaries, like the Centurion, have long disappeared? The answer lies in Soviet stockpiling.